Howdy folks, welcome to my 2010 Honda CRV. We're going to be doing a build out over the next couple months to live in it and to take it on some little expeditionary trips. And I've got some big plans for this guy, so let's do a quick walk around and some talk around. We've got this nice color, I'm not sure what it is. I can't see colors too well. I've been told that it's blue. I've also been told that it's silver, so I don't know. What do you think? First up in the front here, we've got the license plate here, and we're just gonna do our first mod here. Wrong, but there's somebody pulling into the lot, so we're gonna stop for a second. We scared them away. So first things first, I'm gonna sand this off and write some things on there, but you'll see what that is when we get to that part. Under the hood, I'm gonna add some cool stuff, a new type of horn, but you'll see that when it comes as well. Follow me to the back, would you? We're gonna do a similar kind of work down here with this back license plate cover, but again, you'll have to wait and see for that one. Back here we've got some pretty cool stuff. I've never seen this before in a vehicle and I was pretty excited about it. It's a shame that I have to ditch it, but this is basically a shelf, but it's not too useful because you can't place more than 20 pounds on it as per the blue notice key. But it's pretty interesting. It's cool to make your lunches on. You can flip it up in case you wanted less space to make your lunches on, and you can put stuff down here. Pretty cool. But even cooler is that you can just take it right out. No screws or bolts attached. Right down here, we've got the tire well, which I am getting a roof rack for this car. There's already a roof rack attachment up there, but I'm getting one of those metal cargo holders from someone. And so originally I wanted to put the tire up top, seeing as there's so much storage down here, but I think I'm gonna leave the tire down here, and whatever systems I was gonna install in the back, I'm not going to actually install, but I'm gonna make it a modular system so that in case I do get a flat tire, I can just remove those back pieces. And down here we've got some cool stuff. We've got a jack, we've got the world's tiniest tire iron and jack lever in here, and there's still so much room down here. What is this? I don't know what this is. I've never seen it before in my life. But this is perhaps what will become storage for the off season. So we're going into winter now, I might throw my swim trunks in there. I don't actually own any swim trunks anymore, but you get the idea. And then in here, you can kind of get a better picture of what's gonna be going on. So we've got a light up here, turn that on for you, but this car has a very nice feature that older cars don't normally have, at least the older cars that I've owned didn't have, and that's that you can actually turn it off. You can turn off the dome lights, so that way when the doors open, the dome lights don't automatically come on and stay on. So if you're parking somewhere that maybe you shouldn't be parking, you're not just illuminated by a glorious halo for 30 seconds until the lights turn off. And so right here you can see we've got these little this little curvy thing, and that's actually for not that table that we just removed, but it's for a separate kind of canvas sheeting that goes over this. And so what I want to do back here is kind of build a little platform, as is the classical build out design. I originally was going to make it tall enough to have an ammo can underneath it. That's probably about 8 or 9 inches, but if I lift myself about 8 or 9 inches up, my head's on the ceiling, and I kind of got to bend my neck to be a little bit more comfortable. And I don't want to do that. I want to have enough room to cook, read, play guitar, draw, whatever I want to do inside of here without having to crane my neck, especially in the winter time. And so we've got some other cool stuff in here. I'm excited about this kind of table space here because what I'm going to actually do is build this up not quite that 8 inches, but maybe 4 or 5 inches. That way I do still retain that headroom. And this is kind of an interesting concept to me here. I think what I might end up doing is keeping a piece of plywood to put across here so that I have a desk, but more on that later. Down here you can also see that we have a power outlet to plug things into, which is interesting. I don't really see myself using that, but it's there in case I need it. And on both sides we have this little clip-on thing here, which is cool for, I guess, a cup holder if you're stationary, and the counterpart is on this side as well. It's pretty much the same thing. And so you can just lock that on there. And then up here we have a seat belt. I think this is part of seat booster type array thing. And these tags are getting pretty annoying, so I'm definitely gonna have to cut those off when they wiggle. But if you come in here for just a second, you can see this little clip up there to kind of tuck the seatbelt into. That way it doesn't wiggle around so much. So along with that modular system that is completely removable, I'm not really going to be doing any major body work on this. At least I'm going to try not to, because that will ruin the resale value, even though I see myself probably reselling this as a vehicle to live out of if I don't totally kill it through my usage in the next couple years. And as you can see in the back seat, there's 3 seats, a kind of smaller child seat in the middle and 2 adult seats on either side. I really like this kind of pulley system to drop the seats. I've never seen this on another vehicle, but it seems to be kind of standard nowadays. So basically you just lift that little piece up and then it frees the anchor on the bottom and the seats can fold down, which is pretty cool. I like it a lot. It's super easy to push the seats down. However, I'm going to be taking the seats out of this to make it a full bed because this is not very comfortable to lay on. So the plans involving that are pretty much take out the seats, build up a small platform that's a couple inches big enough to fit a sliding container for my food and maybe my backpack and some clothes underneath here. But the other issue is how to access that, because there's a pretty significant lip right here. So you would have to end that platform a few inches before the door ends. That way you would have enough space to actually lift up the box and pull it out when this door is open. And if you don't know what you're doing and you're looking about how to build out a Honda CRV or anything else, take comfort in knowing that I have literally no idea what I'm doing either. And I'm this confident about it, so you can be too. Like this, the seat's locked. How is it locked? I don't know, but it's not coming up. I pull the string because that's what I did to get it down. Boom, problem solved. You're an engineer now. So I'll show you something in the rear that you couldn't quite see from your previous angle. So I'm in here, this is my bed space, right? Pull this guy down. Great, my front door's closed. Nice and cozy, you're cool, you're hot, whatever. Oh no, there's a fire, I need to get out. Oh, the window doesn't open, I don't want to break my expensive window. What do? Oh, there's no release handle. Well, guess what? I removed this panel and now there is. There's this little tiny metal part in here, so you gotta stick your phalanges in, cut them up on all the sharp, unsanded plastic, and twist it. And then it opens up. Pretty cool. So where I'm sitting right now will be totally removed. These seats are gonna be gone, they're gonna be out of here. But I have absolutely no clue what is underneath this. It might be a nice little mat, or it might be a hole that leads directly into the chassis. So that'll be a nice surprise when I go to remove that. There's some plastic pieces down here you can see that I'm gonna pull off because I think the screws are probably beneath that, but really honestly I have no idea. So I'm just gonna play around with that till I manage to pull that off. And so the plan for this is to have 2 separate sides. One side that's gonna be a little bit smaller than a twin size bed to sleep on, but it'll actually be a lot bigger than my camping mat, so it'll be pretty comfortable for me, I think. Some people think that's a little bit too little space to sleep in, but I think it'll be nice and cozy, and I'm a side sleeper that curls up anyway, so I think it'll be totally fine for me. But the length when the hatchback is closed to where my head is on the back of the passenger seat is just enough for me to lay in here. I'm like 5'7" or something, I think. I don't really know. And that's just enough space. So I don't want to screw around too much and compress the space too much, but what I'm thinking right now is I'm going to build that wooden platform going across here. And then on this side, there's going to be a table, like a cabinet shelf type deal. So it'll be a working platform that I can write and put my computer on and cook on. And then right beneath that, there'll be a small space for things such as folding my computer and putting it away, and maybe even a closing latch there so that I can put things in there and drive without them flying absolutely everywhere. And another idea that I had for that was to maybe cut a circular hole on top of that cabinet platform there, just big enough for one of those 1-pound propane tanks to fit into. And I was originally going to use a 20-pound propane tank, then I was originally after that going to use an alcohol stove, but I think I'm back to the propane single burner 1-pound stoves, but not the disposable kind. So that will rely entirely on whether or not I'm able to find a refillable 1-pound propane tank, which I've been unable to find so far, but I'm still looking for that. because I think that's a pretty good solution to have 3 or 4 1-pound propane tanks that are refillable rather than a giant one or just a very low-powered alcohol stove, because the main reason I don't want the alcohol stove is that it runs off of rubbing alcohol, so it's pretty expensive to use that as a regular cooking method. And also I wanted the stove in here as a backup heat method, just in case things go awry and I need to be heated up in an emergency situation. So on this side, we're gonna have kind of a rectangular type deal going on with a couple cabinets and shelves and things. And we are gonna be installing about 175 watts of solar on here with a 100 amp hour battery. So we'll have 50 working amps of solar power. And that's taken from the scraps of the trailer. The trailer's just on a solar charge maintainer right now with one of the batteries. I have the other battery here. But if you watch those videos, you know that you can only discharge a deep cycle battery to 50% before it's completely damaged and unchargeable again. So you can only bring it down to 50 amp hours if it's a 100 amp hour battery. Anyway, so the battery's probably going to be somewhere maybe right behind the driver's seat. I'm not entirely sure, but it's going to be lower to the vehicle to reduce tipping risk. I don't want it on the roof because this vehicle has already been known in quite a few cases to tip. Actually, there's a warning up here, a high rollover risk. So don't want to be doing that. So the battery might go down here or it might go somewhere in that housing, but one thing is for sure, and that is that this door is probably not going to be operational. It'll definitely still open, the windows will still roll down. I still want to be able to see this entire window, but I won't be able to actually enter and exit through this door. That door behind the camera there, it looks just like this one, except it's on the passenger side. I don't know if I'm going to be able to exit out of that one, maybe as an emergency exit, but really I don't foresee me wanting these back 2 doors to be able to be operational, because this is a vehicle where you can easily access the front, and as you just saw, you can also easily access the back door to get out of. So this platform is going to be here, and then there's going to be some more storage space beneath where my head is, because the wooden platform is going to extend to the back of these seats here horizontally. And then I'm going to have all this storage space down here, maybe for a backpack, maybe for some clothes, or perhaps some emergency food or something like that. Or I might end up putting my essentials down there because that's easily accessible and I won't have to dig for it, or I won't have to open up the hatchback to get to it. Then we've got a moonroof up here. I'm not really sure the difference on a moonroof and a sunroof. I think maybe a sunroof has the UV protection thing, but you can lower this and stuff, and I think it'd be kind of cool to be able to put my head right here and have that open and be able to look up at the stars while I sleep, but still be inside the vehicle. And then up here we've got this super cool table thing. This is one of the things I'm most excited about. It flips up and it's a cup holder and a table and everything, and then it flips down so you can actually walk from the front seat to the back seat. And then we've got all this storage space down here, a bunch of these little compartments, and this spot right here is really perfect for a backpack or something like that. And I just love that the shifter is also up here. And then up front here we have 2 glove boxes actually. We have the normal one with all the nitty-gritty paperwork and fun stuff in it. And then I've got another one for accessories up here. I was joking earlier how funny it would be to actually fill that compartment with compost and just every time I have a fruit core or something, just throw it in there. But that would be quite a project. Then up here we've got a conversation mirror, which is cool. Got like a little sunglass compartment. And then if you bring it back up, it locks, I think. Yeah, as a conversation mirror. So you can see in the back, you can see everybody that's here. Hi. And then we've got these 2 things, pretty standard. And as far as the mirrors go, I'm going to install some blind spot mirrors, I think. And maybe a couple other fun things here and there that I'll leave as surprises throughout the process. But I think that it's going to be not exactly divided into chapters, but kind of whatever happens inside of these renovation episodes. Not totally sure how long the series is going to go, just going to go till I'm satisfied, because projects like these never actually tend to be done. They tend to just go on and on and on. But I think at one point it'll be at a good enough point to call it renovated. So thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the future videos. You sat through this whole thing, so you must be interested in the topic. So I'll see you in those other videos probably. But until then, stay hungry, enjoy your life, and I'll see you later.